Hey everyone, and welcome to our Clips and Highlights channel. If you want to keep up with everything Kyle and I have going on, make sure you subscribe to the main Grinding Gear YouTube channel, which is where we actually do these streams. That's right, we stream right here on YouTube. Oh, and sub to the Grinding Gear podcast. Apple, Google, Spotify, really any podcast platform. We're probably there. Thanks. It's time to grind through the end of the week. It's the Grinding Gear podcast. I'm Garrett. He's Kyle.
Hello.
And the game you're looking forward to is no longer going to be made in Unity.
Ain't that the truth? Wow. We are not lawyers. By the way, everybody. Announcement, everybody. Shocking display of skill here. We are not lawyers. I apologize for that. We are a graphic designer and theater major by trade.
I'm seeing a whole lot of armchair lawyers. I'm seeing a whole lot of people who got their law degree last night.
Yeah, well, it is prompted a greater capitalism conversation in the gaming sphere, and working into that is the ethics of outsourcing, Unity itself, free-to-play games. You should do everything to make money, top overlords. We did esports coverage for a long time. We're very aware of who gets involved when money is being made by creative peoples. And this is yet another terrible example of that. So, story is ongoing. I encourage you to enjoy your favorite lawyer YouTuber or anything along
Go dunk
those.
on Unity, everybody.
Yes.
Our take on Unity is they're horrible. Go make fun of their leadership.
Yep. And Unity also is where Hearthstone, Among Us, Genshin Impact, like, this is
many
not going anywhere. Like, oh my god, this isn't gonna advance well. This will be entertaining you for weeks if you're into that sort of thing. And to say, hey, we're gonna do one expose on the breaking news would not do it justice. So today,
my favorite open letter I read to Unity was from the creator of Gary's Mod, who
interesting,
like verbally skinned Unity alive publicly in their letter.
Oh yeah, because it's retroactive.
Yes.
So
shoot. I love that we said we weren't going to talk about it, but here we are talking about it.
I know, but you can't not. I think we've done a good job in the we're not lawyers department, and now we're just like looking at the dumpster fire.
Dudes.
Yep.
That's it. That's all we got. My level of professionality with this is I like video games. That's it. That's all I got. I like games. I'd like more games, and it's already hard enough to make a game. Let's not make it harder.
Yes, and in that department, like, the saddest thing about the current ongoing conversation, like whether or not Unity is like, whoops, we messed up, we will never do this. They inserted uncertainty into a engine that a lot of video game makers use for very basic things, like just popping out a quick idea. Like, oh man, I have this really cool idea for a puzzle game. I know how to program Unity. Pop, pop, and then like a night they'll build a prototype. Whether or not they're going to use Unity to ship and sell their product, they do think in Unity. And Unity inserting uncertainty into their futures.
There's also just been so much conversation recently about how long the tail is on development of games at this point, especially if it's at a AAA level. Like, those type of games take up to a decade, if not longer, to start and take across the finish line. So if you're at a point where, first of all, it sucks for the people who are like middle of that. You're 5 years into a 10-year track and you're already locked into Unity. That's a major reason why a lot of people just think this is beyond uncalled for. But what about people just about to start? Imagine you're in charge of calling the shots. You're looking at starting to develop a long tail development of a game, and it's time to choose. It's time to choose what you're going to develop your game in, and you're thinking this could take conservatively 7 years, probably going to go to 10 to actually finish this thing. You need to trust your development platform for a decade, generally speaking. And I bet you you're maybe thinking Unity isn't the way to go.
Probably not picturing
it. A little worried what else they're going to do in the next 10 years.
Yeah. Who knows? So That concludes our Unity discussion.
Yes, that concludes it. That concludes it. Let's talk about something that everyone can agree on: Star Wars. Ooh.
What'd you do to yourself?
And now, let's go.
Good. Oh, great news, everyone. Shove it.
Every part of my brain is trying to connect and make words.
Okay.
Everything. It's just
I
struggling.
thought you did great.
I'm
I
glad.
mean, can you really intro with too much energy an FZero game and all?
Honestly, this is to me the biggest surprise of today's Nintendo Direct.
Oh, really? Okay, so this just happened this morning, everybody. So we are
Yeah.
hot off the presses.
Honestly, Kyle, I can sum up this entire Nintendo Direct for you.
Yeah.
I hope you like remakes and side scrollers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, it's a...
Or I got another one. Today's Nintendo Direct tagline: can you tell the Switch is on its way out?
Ooh, that's a bit more scandalous. Yeah, okay. I just don't... I think F-Zero is boring. I have no nostalgia for it, though.
It's not my favorite. My cousin was really into it, so I have some fond memories of it from my childhood. But this is my favorite version. I love SNES F-Zero. If I'm going to play an F-Zero game, this is my favorite one. And they're doing F-Zero 99. And I think Tetris 99 is still one of my favorite and most surprising games of the Switch.
Interesting. So they're adding because in F-Zero, you just die. Or you retire, right? You retire. It's kind of a Pokemon like knocked out kind of thing they do, but you die. And then race is over. There's no the Cloud Man that puts you back on the track. There's no items. There's boosting and stuff like this. So, okay, I can feel that. Yeah, you got
It's part of the challenge of the game and what, to me, made it stand apart from racing games of the time.
And it's got a fun 80s dystopian Running Man kind of vibe to it. That's kind of enjoyable. But
I've always thought the art direction is striking, memorable, and now it's pretty nostalgic for me.
But now they're doing the Tetris thing where a bunch of people... Is it 99 people? Is that kind of the gimmick?
Yes.
It's 99 people
So
enter one
Tetris
leads?
99. Tetris 99, I believe, was the first one of these where they turned Tetris into a battle royale, where they threw you in a lobby with 98 other people also playing Tetris, and if they did better than you, it would add more blocks to your game. And if you did better than them, and it slowly weeds you out until there's one person of the 99 in the lobby, and they win. They did it for Pac-Man, and then they did it for with original Super Mario Brothers, but that was only 35. It wasn't 99. It was Super Mario Brothers 35. So now they're doing it for F-Zero. The amount of cars on track at one time is 99. It is bonkers seeing this.
Yeah,
in
I'm
action.
seeing the mini map with all the dots on it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I think this is a brilliant next installment in these let's make games that never made sense to be a battle royale. Let's make them a battle royale.
I do like battle royales. I wish there was more done in my wheelhouse of top-down MOBA strategy, but those have all failed at this point.
Have you tried any of these? Have you done Tetris or Pac-Man or any of these?
No, I got into a Battle Right. And there was that weird one that was being played right when Heroes did its esports cancellation. So all the pro players went over to it was anime looking, and I just remember beating up a lot of vending machines.
I don't remember.
And it had one of
Someone in
those
chat might remind us.
Yeah, Genshin Impact kind of names. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but it was pretty popular. But I really enjoy those because that's where my wheelhouse is, right? If I was good at shooters, I would play a battle royale shooter when it came out because lo and behold, my skills translate, right? I had a wonderful day one of Pokemon Unite, completely destroying everyone who was trying that out for the first time. That was a joyous occasion.
I think a lot of Heroes gameplay translated over to Pokemon Unite, especially in the early days. You should try it because to me, a battle royale is usually a shooter. I still love PUBG. I haven't played in a while, but I still love it. I really enjoy what Call of Duty's done with their battle royales. And we were both into Apex Legends for a while. So, but if you want a massive player number King of the Hill experience that isn't shooters, I think any of these 99 titles might scratch the itch for you because they're just completely different ways of playing games that still have that battle royale, king of the hill process of elimination going on.
But I think you're right. I think there is an element of Nintendo being like, we're just a really fancy Game Boy. For the end of our life here, we're just going to admit Game Boy defeat.
And I don't think there's anything wrong
No,
with that.
there
It's
is
just,
not.
I'm not going to get super
Hell no.
excited about it, but I'm glad somebody's doing it.
Yeah, that's what I
Like-
use it for right now. Is it is a Game Boy-like device that slides on out of the couch cushions as the kids fall asleep. You know, I'm there. I'm being vigilant, reading books and encouraging everyone to relax. And as everyone gets slowly relaxed and turns the other way, the Game Boy comes out. And I love it. Like, it has encouraged me.
It's too big to fit in your pocket.
But it's encouraged me to play a lot of games that otherwise I wouldn't make time for, because I think I brought this up about Stardew Valley. Like, Stardew Valley is not something I want to sit at a computer, like, be big brain thinking at my desk that I work at to play. But Stardew Valley on the Switch, that sounds chill. I also would never really want to play, like, you know, Luigi's Mansion at a computer, or like on the big screen in the living room, like, everybody watch me Luigi's Mansion. No, like, it takes me half an hour just to figure out I need a bucket in the other room. It's that old Resident Evil kind of logic where you need 2 popsicles melted in order to power up the generator.
Oh God, I felt that way playing Starfield on the TV, and I realized I took an hour to just like add some cargo bays to my ship, and I was like, I turned to Katie, I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's how I feel about
Sad.
Baldur's Gate. Yeah,
This had to be so dull.
like Baldur's Gate being
Baldur's
like,
Gate, God, man, I'm tempted to like start over on the easiest setting, because I in the story moments, Katie and I have so much fun going through them together and
cool.
thinking about what is our character, how would we, and then I get to combat, and it can take like 90 minutes for a single combat encounter, and I can just see Katie withering away on the couch next to me, where she's like, I'm here for the story, and like, because I think we both used to do an ongoing Star Wars pen and paper campaign, and I think we both preferred the character moments to anything combat related. Like, we're there for the dialogue and the dialogue options. So yeah, which is it's a double-edged sword, because I really am impressed by the combat in Baldur's Gate 3, but God damn, it takes a long time.
Oh, I'm having such a good time. I got my hasted barbarian who can make 5 attacks in a round and do like 30 to 40 damage a hit. So you just run around, just smite this guy, bam, 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 just clear the freaking field. It's a delight, but it took me 2 hours of prep to get there, because I had to respec Will in order to get that going, and then I had to go, oh, I respec this, I might as well go respec you, and oh, this inventory is getting out of control. Like, I feel like I would have to do 3 hours of homework in order to stream the game to show off the fun part, and then I'd probably turn off the stream about 2 hours later because I want to go through my inventory again and respec somebody. Honestly, dude, I had one of the best video game experiences of my life at the end of Act 2 this week. And I won't get into the particulars of it, but my playthrough plus the Dark Urge character storyline just lined up back to back to back so amazingly. I mean, we're talking like top 5 moments for me.
Damn.
End of Mass Effect 2, the morning after defeating Hades, like just like I've got a couple, only a couple, and this is in them. Like, it was just so perfectly lined up, and I debated at my computer what I was gonna do. I had such a good time.
Okay, now we're gonna have to figure out our top 5, because it's like, yeah, morning after Hades, defeating the Lich King, probably completing the Fierce Deities mask.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, going in there and just wrecking after all that work.
Yeah. Just my first time ever playing Half-Life, pushing that card in. Holy shit, that blew my mind.
Oh, that was dynamic. Yeah, at the time, that was really an experience.
Yeah. But none of this is coming to the Switch.
No, none of that's coming to the Switch. Which, it's feeling like things are odd mobile games. That's how I kind of feel about Mario Donkey Kong. It reminds me.
That's an old GBA game.
It reminds me of those ads where, how will he get the gold? Will he pull the lever and get covered in lava?
This is the title that I checked out for. I was like, I have no nostalgia for this, and this doesn't look like a thing I'll ever play.
Honestly, again, like Switch mobile, it looks kind of chill. I think I would skip this in favor of other games. Like, honestly, diving straight into the next one, Princess Peach Showtime looks kind of fun. I like.
I like the style of it, and
Yeah.
I like the theming. Yeah, so that Princess Peach game that was like teased during the last direct, it has an official title. It's now called Princess Peach Showtime. It's coming out March 22nd of next year, and the whole thing is like theater stage play themed. I'm also in the middle of season 3 of Only Murders in the Building, which is very Broadway themed in New York. So I've got a lot of like theater going on in my life right now. So I'm into this.
It's
I
what
like the
Nintendo's really
theming.
good at this. They're really good at saying like the themed rooms. I think Luigi's Mansion 1 did it best because it was the nanny's room, the parents' room, the cellar. Like it was properly spooky. But in Luigi's Mansion 3, every single floor of the hotel you're in is a different theme. Like this will be the gardener's theme. Why is the gardener living on the 7th floor? Don't think about it too much. Why is floor 8 a movie studio? Don't think about it too much. Like Nintendo's really, really good at themed levels, and this excuse of Peach saving a theater production is going to allow them to do some really cute stuff.
Yeah.
And I might want to see it. I don't know if it'll like overtake the Mario RPG remake for me. That's something I'm really excited about.
That's definitely high in the list of games I never played, and it's been recommended at nauseum to me is Mario RPG. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. But at first I was like, oh, it looks cute. It's another side scroller. Probably won't play it. And then they're like, she has a fencing outfit or costume. I think they're referring to them as, because again, it's like a play. And the gameplay for that looks really fun. It looks like fighting as Peach with a fencing sword looks really fun.
I'm really curious about Mario RPG because I think it's going to be like going back to that first season of Futurama. I'm not going to go Simpsons. That was so far removed and so weird.
Old Simpsons is hard.
Yeah, but
the animation was rough.
it was rough, and the voice, like Homer doesn't really sound like Homer, and you get a little bit of that in Futurama. It feels a little uncanny when you know like how developed the characters are years later. And I think that's how Mario RPG is going to feel for a lot of people. They're like, yeah, Bowser's doing the cute, like, sad, love-troubled guy thing, but it's not fully formed yet. And we don't, the experience isn't fully there. So I'm curious to revisit it and see what that feels like. They are also, this is brand new, right? The Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Oh, it's a remake. Okay, this is a remake.
It's a remake.
Okay.
It's a remake. Apparently, a lot of people's favorite Mario game. I never played it.
I never played this one either.
It's from the GameCube era.
Yeah, I got into Paper Mario in the Wii, where they really started doing some really unique things with the 2D aspect, where he could like slip between pieces of paper and.
This, yeah, there's a lot of that going on in this game too. Yeah, I got a GameCube late, and this wasn't one of the things I picked up for it. I remember being really stoked about Rogue Squadron because at the time those games looked insane graphically.
Yeah, they did.
My memory of this is I remember it reviewing very well on G4 TV's X-Play, because this was around the time my family moved to the middle of nowhere. All we could get was satellite TV, and suddenly I had all these weird channels, and one of them was the video game channel.
That was an exciting time.
I think it was Tech TV for like the first 6 months, and then it was right around the G4 rebrand. But I remember reviewing well on X-Play and being like, huh, I should play this, and then I never did.
It's almost like we all have too many interests in video games, different kinds of video games, for a channel like that to survive long term. But
this was the peak of Edgelord Garrett, so I was really in the Devil May Cry when this was coming out. I'm like, I want trench coats and anime attitude. So I was a PS2 kid when this was a new game.
But Mario can be a little Peppa Pig at times, where like everyone's a little too polite. They say we splash in muddy puddles, and you're like, what? Why? How long does this explanation of the A button have to take? Why is everyone so polite? Why does everything take 1,000 years of reading just to get to? You got to be in the mood.
Are you talking about Mario or Final Fantasy?
Well, a little bit of both. But yeah, I actually experienced, what was that, earlier this year? What was that? I was playing Luigi's Mansion. I think it was Final Fantasy 14 and was it Persona 5 all at the same time? And I was like, I can't do this.
That's too much. That's too much.
I can't read this much polite dialogue. I have to some edge in my life. There's too much going on. Oh, it was Tears of the Kingdom. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Luke's got it. It was Tears of the Kingdom. And lots of like, oh, hero, if you'd be so kind, and let me explain yet again what you were going to do here and how the spin attack works.
God, I feel that in my bone. Last year, when the new season of The Boys was going and coming out week to week, and we were still in, and still are in our Final Fantasy 14 journey. That was the perfect balance, like the wholesome power of friendship experience that is streaming Final Fantasy 14 with you, and then retiring and watching like the crudest R-rated live action superhero TV show I've ever seen. Like, it was the perfect combination of wholesomeness and just crass nihilism.
It's that same energy as doing your dishes to music about murder, like you can, isn't this chill?
Isn't this chill? Yep. Absolutely. Which, by the way, watch, actually, I don't know if you would hang with only murders in the building, especially this latest season, because it's very theater kid energy.
I don't know. I've tried the first episode. I thought it was a little slow. Unfantastical would probably be. It didn't capture me, but I think I could get into it, particularly because there's like a podcast edge to it, right? Where Steve
there
Martin
is. Do not go in expecting an accurate depiction of how podcasts are made.
No, I wouldn't expect that.
Because they're like recording things on their phone as they're researching this murder, and then there'll be scenes where someone listens to it. It sounds like they're right up on the most expensive mic in the world, and it's just like, that's not how you just put that out of your head. Watch it like you watch the movie Clue. Because it's a lot of the same energy. It's very heightened, ridiculous characters in a murder mystery.
Yeah.
So, we're getting the first 3 Tomb Raiders as a remastered collection.
Yeah, I've never played Tomb Raider.
We're gonna get to unpopular opinions later. I'll drop one of mine right now.
Okay.
I think the original Tomb Raiders are the worst playing video games ever made. I think the controls are inexcusably horrendous.
I played a game, and it was famous for me because I had to get my Voodoo 3 graphics card installed. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. And to me, this has that same run at the camera. You have to pre-memorize your jumps, and you won't even see what's coming, so you have to die on purpose in order to even figure out the next stage kind of business.
I feel the same way about Crash Bandicoot for that reason.
Yes, Crash Bandicoot is a really
terrible.
bad camera, in my opinion. I get the nostalgia. And there is an amazing high that comes with being skilled because of memorization, and that's not just a nostalgia thing, right? Like, it's fun being great at Crash Bandicoot because you were great at Crash Bandicoot when you were 12, so you get back in there and you're feeling it again and you're recapturing that magic, and it just gels with you. There are absolutely things I love that get updated with the passage of time in my brain, like graphics, movie quality, whatever. Sometimes the game's, actual play properties, you're like, oh yeah, that was freaking genius. Silent Hill 2, I think, would be one of those where you're fighting the game so much that the horror is part of the game.
It's why I never got into the old Resident Evils. I remember my friend being like, dude, I got this zombie game. It's going to blow your mind. And I'm like, I can't see what I'm doing.
Right. And the mind-blowing aspect of it is a JPEG that's been like folded to look like a house. But it was really high quality house back in the day, and it blew all our minds, and it was the most beautiful thing you'd ever seen.
Yes. At the time, it looked cool, but I remember not enjoying playing it. This remaster, I dig the art though, because it doesn't look like a brand new game. They've just it looks like old Tomb Raider, but they've cleaned it up, so it still looks retro. We talk about how some of these remasters make the games look like how we remember them, not how they actually looked. And I think this is another example of one of those.
Yeah, it's not pushing it too far. The one that I immediately think of is, of course, like Warcraft 3 Reforged, as you lost the style, you lost the energy that original game had. Yeah,
some about the faces in Warcraft 3 Reforged. I'm like, this looks like a Korean MMO.
Well, it was outsourced, so we know that, after the fact that did happen, and there's a lot of that goes on in video games today.
That was my old hot take about Warcraft 3 Reforged before it came out, and we all found out that it's just not a good game.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun going through the models. Like, it was a joyous experience going through and being like, oh wow, look at the intestines on the abomination. Oh cool, Vulcan got a little update. Look at that. Oh, look at his little tussle and all the graphics. But there is a colorfulness to the original Warcraft 3 that I think still holds up better for Battle.net. And I think Warcraft 3 will always be better than StarCraft 2 when it comes to custom games and Battle.net because the wide range of models and colors and energy you could bring. StarCraft 2 was very muted in that style and the age it came out in, which was many, many years ago now.
Yes, it was. And then I didn't know this was happening, but apparently it was announced back in 2021. But Nintendo is converting one of its old plants in Kyoto into the official Nintendo Museum.
Huh.
And construction will be done next year, but they still don't have an official opening date.
Okay.
But I hope to go to Japan in the next year or so. So,
is it Florida where they put Nintendo World? Is that like part of Universal Studios? How did that go down?
We're getting it eventually. It's already open in California, though.
Okay.
It is. I believe they're saving it. Universal's opening a third park in Florida, I think called Epic Universe, and I think that's where the Nintendo land is going to go.
The madness, the crossovers, and all that sort of thing.
And Luigi's Mansion 2 HD got a new trailer. It's coming out next summer. Enjoy that, Kyle.
I will.
That's the majority of what was announced today.
Yeah, there was like a expansion for Splatoon, but Splatoon...
That was already announced. It was just a new trailer for that. It's like a single player expansion. So it was just a new trailer. You know, there's other things where it was just like not really new news. It was just new trailers. I mean, we already knew the Peach game was coming, but now it has an official title and a proper trailer, not just a teaser. So it's kind of some housekeeping here. And then, like I said, to me, FZero is the biggest surprise, and also like the Thousand Year Door remake, because again, haven't played it personally, but I'm aware that it has quite a pedigree and a large fandom. So
later today, we have the PlayStation State of Play, which is looking like it's going to go over stuff you already know is coming out.
I'd imagine it'd be Spider-Man heavy because that's right around the corner. But we've already seen so much of that damn game. Like,
I feel like you're sold if you're sold. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm buying it day one. I love Insomniac games. Except for, what was that shooter they did? I don't like that game. What was it? Resistance. I hate Resistance.
Oh, Resistance had really fun alt fires. That was the joy of it. I checked out when they named one of their bad guys Daedalus, and I was like, seriously?
That's it? That's what did it for you?
Sometimes you just go like, that was a little too like, okay, Mr. Smarty Pants. All right. Yeah, and we called the sun laser Icarus, and come on.
I'm just waiting to sense vibrations from my old furry friends from art school, because that means a new Sly Cooper was announced.
Oh, Sly Cooper. Yeah, I've heard good things about old Sly Cooper.
That was second place to Sonic for things I needed to be warned about before going through my friend's sketchbook.
What about, you got Jak and Dexter and Ratchet and Clank. But I didn't know.
Ratchet and Clank had a new game that was a launch title for the PS5.
I didn't know that was the de facto furry game. All right, now I've learned. Sunset. They've done a lot of games that I've passed on. Sunset Overdrive, and I have not participated in Insomniac in a long time.
Sunset Overdrive was pretty fun. It was a little one note. Yeah. They did Infamous, right? I liked Infamous 2 a lot. Infamous 1 was a little one note. I thought Infamous 2 was added some new, much needed layers to Infamous.
I don't know if they did Infamous. I'm not seeing it here.
That wasn't Infamous? Who did Infamous? Who am I thinking of? Who the hell did Infamous?
That would have been a while ago, too. The big Infamous.
Yeah, that was a PS4 launch game, I believe. Oh, that was Sucker Punch. That's Sucker Punch. Sly Cooper, isn't it? What else have they done?
And
Ghost of Tsushima. I have played a little bit of it, and I really want to go back to it because I really liked it, but I just haven't had time for Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I missed that one too. Yeah, it looks like Insomnia is very much the Spyro the Dragon into Ratchet and Clank studio.
Yeah.
And they have the Marvel Spider-Mans, which, honestly, like, I don't know if you can do more to sell me on it than let me play it. And I should probably go play those long ones or the old ones, but I don't know.
Please go play the old. They're so good. They're so freaking good.
I'm sure they are.
They're legitimately good Spider-Man stories too. So like, slap it on a low difficulty and just let Flynn lose his mind.
Just let him swing around a bit.
They're good Spider-Man stories, like really good ones. Miles is maybe a little like I don't think it's too rough for a kid, but the themes are mature enough that I think a lot of it would just go over his head. But the story in both of them are really good.
Yeah, we're currently skipping through the talking parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! To get straight to the duels, so talking parts will be avoided in any sort of family entertainment.
Okay. Well, the combat is super visually entertaining in the Spider-Man games.
Nice.
So it's kind of that Batman Arkham Asylum, but with the camera much more pulled out style, kind of counter flow state combat.
Yeah, I've got my traversal game right now with Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, so I'm not.
Oh, you're still playing that?
I am still playing. I thought I was almost done. Honestly, I did. I thought I was like nearing the end, but it keeps going, and it's got an okay story. Probably the best thing I can say about the story is it facilitates dreams where they can break reality and make you grind up a pole that's flying over an abyss. So very much like we were just talking about earlier, the story of it is definitely second place to what locations it takes you to. And of course, it's a deeply nostalgic kind of ride from the Jet Set Radio, Jet Set Grind